May of 1970, following the success of the original 1968 classic, the first ever sequel to come out of the Planet of the Apes film franchise, Beneath the Planet of the Apes, was released. While the movie was initially met with mixed reactions from critics and more casual members of the movie-going audience, Ted Post's weirder, darker, and more sci-fi heavy follow-up to the much-beloved first film did strike a chord with one particular group: young science fiction fans. In the decades that have followed, the film's reputation has remained a mixed bag, but its dedicated fanbase who fell in love with the film back then have played a large role in turning Beneath from a strange 1970s B-movie into a cult classic over 5 decades later.
Bugler, sound the advance.
Beneath the Planet of the Apes has always been one of the Apes franchise's most fascinating entries to me. Not great, not terrible, just fascinating. And when I say that, I kinda mean it in 2 different ways. Just as a film itself, ever since the first time I watched it as a teenager, I was simultaneously awestruck, but also completely dumbfounded by it. It's a blast to get to see a direct continuation of the iconic first movie and see what happened to Taylor, Nova, Cornelius, and Zira in the moments after that movie ended. But it's also pretty maddening to have to essentially watch the exact same story beats play out again in the first 40 minutes, just this time with Brent. It's also a lot of fun to get to explore different parts of the ape-dominated planet and see more of what's become of whatever is left of the human world, but it's depressing how nihilistic of an outlook it has on society, something that's a constant throughout the series, but is especially hammered home here. It's exciting to get a tougher and more theatrical villain who brings a different side of menace to Zaius' already eerie and politically corrupt side of the table, but it's all the more wild to meet a far greater threat in the form of genetically evolved mutant humans that are the result of nuclear radiation following the nuclear war that played a role in the end of human civilization as we know it. It's so much movie where so many things happen and each one is more head-spinning than the last, and it does it all in about 95 minutes. For all of those reasons, and then some, Beneath the Planet of the Apes fascinates me as a film, but that's not the only factor. When taking a step back from my own experience and personal view of the film, and looking both at how it was received by audiences upon release, as well as how it's viewed now, it's the overall reception and reputation that the film has garnered among the most die-hard of the Planet of the Apes fanbase, as well as sci-fi fans in general, that intrigues me just as much, if not more, than the film itself.
Now we invade or we stop. It's as simple as that. And as dangerous. What is more dangerous than famine, Doctor? The unknown.
As is the case with most long-running franchises, you tend to always get at least one polarizing entry that either divides the fanbase in half or is mostly panned but has an always growing cult following. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, Prometheus, Star Wars: The Last Jedi, Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice. The list goes on and on and on. When it comes to the Planet of the Apes franchise, that title belongs, undoubtedly, to Beneath the Planet of the Apes. When you ask a Planet of the Apes fan what they think of Beneath, you tend to get one of 2 responses. Either A, they hate it and think it's one of the worst of the franchise, or B, they think it has a bunch of really cool ideas with a varying range of opinions on the execution, with a very niche group who absolutely love the film and embrace its biggest swings wholeheartedly. From everything I've gathered, it really seems to all come down to the fact that Beneath the Planet of the Apes, more directly than any of the other Ape sequels, simply doubles down on everything we got to see take place in the first film. Depending on which part of that first film you loved the most though, I think is what tends to determine whether or not Beneath is your cup of tea. It doubles down on the weirder, wackier, darker side of the Planet of the Apes universe, with moments like the false vision of the lawgiver on fire, or Brent and Taylor being forced to kill each other, both events courtesy of the mutants, an evolved race of humans that are the result of nuclear fallout. It doubles down on the nihilism and social commentary of the first film and of 1960s and 70s sci-fi, and some of the most unsubtle methods ever seen in the franchise, including, but not limited to, ending with the full-on destruction of Earth, committed by the character with the least faith in humanity of them all.
Bloody bastard.
It also has one advantage over the following 3 sequels, as well as any of the modern films, which is that it's the only film we have ever gotten to this day outside of the original that actually takes place in that original part of the timeline of that original world. That's something that I believe absolutely contributed both then and now to why it has its fans among the so many others who rejected it. It's another aspect of the original that the film again doubles down on. It's more of the world we love, more of what's going on in it, and more sides to it that we didn't see before. For those who love the dark side of the science fiction genre, and to see what type of fiction can be explored when tackling dark ideas through weird and otherworldly methods, such as telepathic mutants who can create illusions or invade other beings' minds, Beneath became an instant favorite for some, especially young sci-fi obsessed audiences. Audiences who craved more of that original aesthetic, more of that original world, and more of the story that we were first introduced to. Audiences who wanted more of what they loved, but just a little bit different. And in some cases, audiences who, for a brief 1-year period of time, only ever had this one additional entry in the Planet of the Apes saga. It reminds me a lot of another second entry in a much beloved franchise, and one of my personal favorites, Halloween 2. The good one, not whatever this is.
Michael, for God in heaven,
Die!
It's a movie that picks up directly after the events of the original, and again doubles down on everything that viewers loved about it. More kills, more blood, more Michael, even more John Carpenter synth music. Similarly, it also takes some major swings with its storytelling, while also rehashing some of what was already done in the first film. Also similarly, it's a sequel that's rejected by the general audience, but loved and appreciated by the most diehard of its fanbase. Just like Beneath the Planet of the Apes. That appreciation played a key role in the film's modern legacy, that being the most unique and most debated entry in the Planet of the Apes universe to date.
May the blessing of the Balm Almighty and the fellowship of the Holy Fallout descend on us all, this day and forevermore.
"55 years after its release, Beneath the Planet of the Apes may not have the critical acclaim or universal love of the original film that led to it, and many have, and still do, write it off as just a weird, lackluster sequel. But it's impossible to deny the appreciation it has among the fanbase and franchise, as well as its impact on sci-fi franchises as a whole when it's managed to garner the obsession and fan following that it has by so many over the years. Whether you love it or hate it, or even if you're somewhere in between, Beneath the Planet of the Apes remains the one Apes film to test the boundaries of what this franchise can and cannot do to its furthest limits. Its lasting impact on so many ape-loving minds will forever be largely due in part to it taking that test, the result of which gave us a Planet of the Apes film with a legacy unique from all the rest, which garners a very special kind of love from its most loyal fans. A true cult classic. Thank you so much for checking out today's video here on Ape Nation. If you liked this video, be sure to hit the like button. You can also join the Ape Nation Discord server for daily discussions about the franchise, and if you're interested in seeing more of my videos, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so that you can stay up to date on all things apes. I'll catch you in the next one, so until then, goodbye.